Dice Age is made possible thanks to the support of our patrons. We'd especially like to thank our living legend, Silgwyn. Thank you very much, and enjoy the show.
The Empire of Maca has existed for nearly 1,000 years. Founded and ruled by Avon the Main, the immortal Empress, it quickly expanded its borders thanks to the overwhelming power of its mages and the shrewd politics of its nobles. Now it has fully conquered the centre of the continent of Elmera, and although war has ended, peace still eludes its populace. As the Empire nears its first millennia, the signs of turmoil have become more frequent and apparent. Monsters are becoming more bold, nobles plot schemes of usurpation, and whispers of rebellion hang heavy in the slums. This gave rise to the adventurer. These strong individuals of all races and classes lend their might to the citizens of Maca to drive back monstrous incursions. There are even adventurers who perform deeds so noble that the people can see beyond their race to the hero that lies within. There are those who criticise these adventurers and claim they're nothing more than pawns used to advance the political machinations of nobles. Despite the immortal Empress herself making fewer and fewer appearances, there are those whose faith in the Empire remains unshaken. But the wise know that it only takes a few sparks to ignite the flames of change. Allow me to introduce you to these sparks. Welcome to Elmera.
Hello and welcome to Dice Age, an actual play D&D show. My name is Jack and I am the Dungeon Master. With me as always are our wonderful heroes. Would you all please go around and introduce yourselves?
Hey, I'm AJ and I play Edgar Wood, the half-elf blood hunter.
Hey, I'm Alice Rose, and I play T, the elven sorceress.
Hey, I'm Dakota, and I play Esarayas, the human rogue.
Hi, I'm Zach, and we're playing Tauros, your tiefling paladin.
Hello, I'm Trey, and I will be playing Obra Person Maximus Germanius Cornelius Alexander, your drow fighter.
Wonderful. And let's get things started with our little recap. So what's up, guys? How did anyone remember exactly what happened in the last session?
You know what, guys? Before we get into that, I'm not really feeling it tonight. Is it cool if I call my understudy?
Your what?
My understudy. Honestly, they've been stuck in that trailer for a couple years waiting for this moment, so I thought this would be the perfect time.
Alice, we are kind of in a really important spot right now. We just took the city of Ongar. Don't you want to be a part of what happens next?
I mean, I could, or I could take the night off. There's this game called Tetris. I just learned about it, and it's pretty neat.
What do you mean you just learned about Tetra? What do you mean take a night off? We just had some of our hardest fights against a room full of assassins and a fucking purple worm.
Come on, line piece! God, these graphics are amazing. Oh, what was that? You know what? Forget it. It's in my contract, so I'm gonna do it. Oh, understudy!
Yes, it is I, Alice, here to do the Dragons and Dungeons for all of you people.
Who is this? What? They don't even sound like you.
Okay, bye! Gonna go post about this new game on MySpace. Tom's gonna love this.
Well, I guess we're stuck with you. Could you help us with the recap?
Of course! Last time, on Ice Age, our Sub-Zero heroes, a woolly mammoth, a saber-toothed tiger, and a sloth.
Understudy, no, not Ice Age. Dice Age.
Oh! That show. The one I'm supposed to watch in the trailer. Gonna be honest, stop paying attention when Finn left. He was my favorite.
But you're supposed to play for Alice. You're gonna need to know what's happening to do that. Actually, for Alice, maybe not.
Oh, no problem. You all seem to just be bullshitting it, so I can just do that. Just tell me what happened last time. Then I can definitely do the recap.
Okay, fine. As we said before we started our attack on Ongar, but half the group was tricked and in the middle of a battle with Elise, who turned out to be the former spy master of Ongar.
And she wasn't alone. A bunch of really annoying assassins just popped up there too.
Ooh. Can I play one of them? They seem way more interesting than this character.
It's going to be a little hard to do understudy with them all eventually being defeated. Elise and another assassin ended up surrendering, so they're still alive, but most of them are dead. Nearly killed Philip and Mello in the process.
Okay, take it a bit slower. I'm running out of room to write on this hand. Flip.
Stop taking my pens! Outside of the throne room, Oberon, T, and Toros battle a couple guards and a purple worm.
Oh, can I play?
No, you can't play the worm. It's also dead. So are its babies, actually. It was a tough fight with Woon nearly being killed, but with the help of Skixie, Hildra, and Helga, they managed to come out on top.
Boo. Go worms.
Guys, can we get rid of this idiot?
I'm on it. Okay, just texted Alice that Tetris 2 came out, and they can unlock it if they come play tonight.
What about the understudy?
Honestly, I kind of just want to go back to the trailer. They've got every Ice Age in there, so I'll just
Move
take
it.
myself-
All right, let's hurry up with the game. Tetris 2, here I come.
It's
Bitch.
Tetris.
Tetris.
You're older than me. How?
Well, with that unconventional recap out of the way, I suppose we should all just return to the world of Elmera. As you all are coming back into Ongar, your armies begin arresting the soldiers, capturing them, those that have surrendered, and at this point, it has been there's a crier that goes out through the city announcing that the city has been successfully taken, that the city has surrendered, and is now under the control of the Monstrous Alliance. There's a moment where all of you do get to return. The council does come into the palace, and a quick little meeting happens as they prepare to announce, formally declare their occupation of Ongar. In this meeting, there's some debate over what is to be done with the citizens of Ongar. Most, Helska is a strong advocate of just kicking all of them out and fully taking over this city. However, Planin and Philp and Mela are kind of leading this group into a less of a we just kick them all out and more of a we just announce that we are now in control. Eventually, Planin just says, if the people of the city do wish to leave, we will not hinder them. We will allow them to do so. We will not steal any of their provisions that they take with them on their way out. However, because this is our attempt to liberate all people from the oppression of the Empire, we should give them the option to join our cause should they desire. And there's some agreement from Mela and Philp. Skixie and Helska seem a little not too excited about the idea, but they can clearly see that they are effectively outvoted in this situation. At this point, Malika is also brought in, and she is asked to speak as a representative of the Alliance to the people, to announce the occupation formally, and anyone who wishes to assist her in crafting or making that speech are welcome to do so.
I'll assist.
Okay, T. What we're going to do is we're going to have you roll a persuasion check.
That's good.
Malika will be the person speaking, but you will be there with her. acting as a sort of a representative as well, but also they're putting
The fan.
they're putting the human and the elf at the front
Yeah.
of the so as time is brought together, a platform is placed at the city square, and the members of the council sit at the platform, and then Malika and T, you both come up. And let's see a persuasion check from T.
Oh, dice don't fail me now.
And I give Tia a high five before for
27.
guidance.
Yes, add a guidance to that.
You did start talking before I rolled.
hmm
That's a 30.
Okay, so with guidance, that comes up to a 30. So, oh, I'm sorry. At this time, there will also would have been a discussion on what to do with Elise. And something I forgot to mention before you did your roll, but Elise has agreed that in exchange for her staying alive as a prisoner under the Monstrous Alliance, she will make a confession of her crime and her deception. And her doing so makes your roll a flat roll, whereas it would have been a disadvantaged persuasion check ahead of this.
Interesting.
So at this thing, there's a big speech. Malika explains that the people here are people. We are not. I represent a group of people who have been systemically put down, have been oppressed, have been treated like villains to be slaughtered, when they are simply people like you or I, people who just desire a peaceful, happy life. And she announces that the Duchess is dead. There's some big gasps and cries of anguish from the crowd on that one. But she says, but this was not the fault of our people. We attempted to take this city, to liberate this city in a manner of peace and in a way that does not harm its citizens. You saw that we did not come and raid and burn the city as soon as the gate fell, and we were not the ones who killed the Duchess. At this point, Elise comes up, confesses. There's a lot of jeering, a lot of throwing of things at her. She is brought back, and then Malika concludes this by saying, all who are citizens of Ongar are welcome to remain in their homes. We will not take them from you. We will not steal your food or your money or your livelihoods. We are here to help liberate you from the oppression of the Empire. And so with that 30, so I had set the DC, the minimum DC you needed to do to get a positive result was a 20.
Nice.
At a 20, let's see, but because you got a 30, you increase the 60% of the population of Ongar will be remaining within the city. No, I'm sorry, 70% of the population
That's
of Ongar will
great.
remain within
That's
the
big.
city. None of the elves will, though.
Yeah.
In order to get any of the elves to remain within Ongar, you would have needed to get at least a 40 on your persuasion check.
Oh, my
That's
God.
not
Oh,
possible.
Right. But yes, so and I made it so that for every 5 you got over 20, an additional 10% of people's remained. The 20 persuasion needed to be 50% of people.
Hell
Right.
yeah.
So 70% of the non-elven population of Ongar will choose to remain within the city. The remaining elven and non-elven populations are beginning to make preparations to flee as refugees to the cities of Kells and Eadstown, west of here. East of here, and at this point, the city is now fully under the control of the Monstrous Alliance. At this point, we're going to be undertaking a little bit of a downtime as this is going on. You all will know that it is, it's not possible for you to not for the Empire to not know that you have taken one of their cities.
What if we put a big tent over it?
What if we make it disappear?
Mhm. And with all of this, okay, and then so with all of this, you all know, it will take about a few. It'll take a few days for the Empire to muster their forces and raise their armies. And then from there, it will take 16 days of travel to march from the city of Avon to the city of Ongar. So we're looking at about 20 days of downtime.
About almost 3.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
It's actually on the Elmeran calendar. That would be it's a little over 3 weeks. So, it is currently the 25th day of Flidane. In 20 days, it will be
15?
yes, the 15th of Lenin. All right, so you all have 20 days to do whatever downtime you wish to do. You know that the current plan, as outlined by Planin, is that you all will await the Imperial March. You could potentially push yourselves to try to go and capture Eadstown at this point. But that would, leave your forces open to attack on the road. And additionally, if, having to fight and capture that city when it's significantly closer to Avon, and effectively giving the army more time to or giving yourselves less time to prepare for the attack, for the battle, if you did so. So that's what the current thinking of the council is that we're going to stay in Ongar, build up our defenses, get used to occupying the city, and then we'll work from there. Over the course of the 20 days, you notice that there is a lot of tension between the monsters and the common folk of Ongar. But with the assistance of Malika and other members of the Alliance that are working hard to unify all these people, that those tensions are lessening over time. You do also there are some citizens of Ongar who do end up joining the cause as well, not just people who they aren't just people who are happy to sit in their buildings and just wait out until whatever happens. There are some people who genuinely take up arms and join the cause. It's even from the captured soldiers that defended the city of Ongar against your assault. So, during this downtime, I will say as well, about 13 days in, Fenn's project will be complete.
Okay.
And then before that, though, on about day 5 of this downtime, you all get the news that Cashel has fallen.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you learn in your briefings is that the rebellion had worked hard to plant several members within the servant class of all of the leaders of the city. And then one night just had all of them capture and imprison all of the leaders and force them to surrender the city to them. Effectively, what's now being called the Silent Conquest, where effectively no blood was shed, and the city was just handed over to the rebellion because the leaders had no choice.
Because they suck.
Mhm. At this point, this is also when you'll be getting notices of plans from the spy networks that both the rebellion and the Monstrous Alliance have, that the imperial army will be dividing itself, and one half will be going on to Ongar to try to reclaim the city, and the other half will be marching to Cashel. You are also informed that the commander of the army heading towards Ongar is in fact the Holy Knight Commander, the head of the Order of Medir, whose name is Isabel Tiernan. Okay. And then let me just check something real quick. And so it is a shorter march to Cashel than it is to Ongar. Not significantly shorter because they are having to navigate the Great Lake near Avon and the river. So as opposed to the 16 days, it is only going to take them 14 days to reach Cashel.
Any news about who was leading the march to Cashel?
Yes, the leader of the March to Cashel is a lieutenant of the Holy Knight Commander. She's a wood elven woman, also a paladin of Medir, whose name is. Sorry, just gotta find that. Her name is Aria Mitchell.
So can you one more time the Holy Knight Commanders? Can you type it out?
Yes.
I was not even close with how to spell that last name.
Yeah.
And Aria Mitchell.
I also fucked up that name.
Who was the lieutenant again?
Aria Mitchell.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. So, yes, and she is the one leading the army to Cashel. So, you all have 20 days. Any projects, any work that you want to get done? I will say. Sorry. We'll say. And if anyone wants to, they can work on trying to ease relations between citizens of Ongar and the Monstrous Alliance. Anyone's welcome to help build fortifications outside of the city. Pretty much like anything you can think of that you think your character would want to do, I'm open to.
Yeah, I'm probably more on the ease relations side of things.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, do we feel that in 20 days the army will be at the gates of Ongar?
In 20 days, it is likely that in 20 days the Imperial army will be at Ongar.
Will be
Okay.
It's not guaranteed that they're going to start a battle right then, just because, they may have preparations that they want to make before they start fighting. And also, that will be the day that they arrive, and it's generally not a great idea to send an army into battle the day after they just finished a long march.
Walking, yeah.
Yeah.
But they'll be at the gate.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I've got an idea about what I want to do. It may take a minute, so if everybody else wants to Get there.
Yeah, I'll just work on easing tensions.
Okay, yeah, give me just a general persuasion check to try to help ease tensions in the
Let's
city.
hope for a 30. Wasn't supposed to have advantage, so 17.
17.
Oh.
Okay,
But that's funny that it did show up as 30.
it is. But so you, as you're working, it's not easy. These, even though the people that stayed are not the ones who have necessarily bought into all of the propaganda from the Empire, they are still people who have lived and grown up in the Empire and have had that passive, prejudices and things like that instilled within them. Uh, but you and Malika and the rest of the groups helping to ease those relations do make some good progress. You generally, the feeling is that of a there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, but the dream of having monstrous races living alongside the quote unquote non monstrous races, it may not be as utopic as once believed.
It's not a fairy tale.
Right.
Mm.
No, that's still pretty good.
All right.
I would he has very limited with the big heads of the groups, but I would like Taurus would like to kind of think back on any rumors about this this knight commander and the lieutenant if he can.
Yeah. Give me a history check. I'll give you advantage since you're a member of the order. You were a
Word.
former member of the order.
Yeah.
He's been secretly a Medea worshiper the whole time.
The whole time.
The undercover Catholic.
Bad at history.
I went to a baptism this weekend. Don't do that to me.
That's a 9.
It's a 9. So with a 9, you pretty much just know what other people know. She there's not much known about her past. She has been serving as the Holy Knight Commander for a couple of centuries at this point. She, since taking her place as the Holy Knight Commander, has overseen several different inquisitions. There have been a few of those. There was also a crusade that happened in living memory that she was the leader of. This was back. Right, so this was about 43 years ago, in an event called the Great Cleansing, where armies of paladins of orders of the Order of Medir combed through the Empire. There was a large heretical cult that had taken root in several of the major settlements within the Empire. And she was at the head of the charge, mercilessly cutting down everyone associated with that cult. She has a reputation of being a very no-nonsense and strict kind of person. There's also rumors that she will always know if someone's lied to her.
You're fucking celestial.
That's what the people say.
She could also just have really good insight.
Probably. Be real fucking funny if she was like a fucking deva.
Mm-hmm. The
Or my
lieutenant,
zone of truth.
right? The lieutenant is fairly more recent, only assuming her position within the past 50 years. She was actually made lieutenant after her contributions. She was always a lieutenant before the Great Cleansing, but during her work in the Great Cleansing, became like the favored lieutenant of the Knight Commander, the Holy Knight Commander, and acts as a very much as is known as like the successor. It's very much believed that in the event that the Holy Knight Commander falls in battle or retires, it will be this lieutenant, that will be taking up the mantle. And that's what you get from a 9 history check.
You know what? That's honestly pretty
That's
fucking dope.
pretty damn good.
Mhm. I mean, you're a
can-
member. You were a former member of the order. It would
Yeah.
be weirder if you just didn't know anything about these people.
Yeah.
Can Essa try and like do an investigation check to see if he can help find like weapons, like basically find through the rubble and through the town, and maybe even in the castle, weapons and things like cannons to repair defenses.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say you won't find any cannons because those
It's gone.
there's no gunpowder
Don't
in this
exist.
world.
Oh, right. I forgot that. I was thinking.
But yes, yeah. Give me an investigation check to try to like see if recovering things. Oh yeah,
25.
with a 25, you're able to help lead some recovery efforts within the general parts of the city, just looking through any abandoned structures and things like that. Also within the battlefield itself and reclaiming anything there. You do
won't
see.
use this anymore.
I will say, as with part of your reclamation, you'll be working with Skixie for a lot of it, and he, with your assistance in this investigation role, he's able to identify the poison sacs of the purple worms, and those will be harvested for use later for some purple worm toxin.
Nice.
Huge.
Negative healing.
No. That's
That's different.
That's Gik.
That's
That's
Gik
it.
trademarked
No.
it.
Still,
It's
I don't care.
trademarked.
Gik does. He trademarked it.
Gik
You owe him
does.
$5.
It does.
First thing Gik did in Ongar was find the patent.
The
Copyright
patent
claims.
office.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Gik knows Gik rights.
So, what the purple worm poison does, I will say, there's enough because you are harvesting from a full purple worm and 2 purple wormlings. I'll say that there is. Let's go with 4d12 uses of the purple worm poison item.
Do you want me to roll that, or are you gonna roll that?
You roll it. You're the one who got the investigation check, so go for it.
Just 4d12.
Yes.
4.
Oh my god.
Damn.
That's 22 uses of purple worm poison.
So much fucking purple poison.
That's a whole lot.
So-
It's so much.
How much does Gik take for his own uses?
Gik will request half of it. But he'll be happy with a quarter.
We tell him it's half.
I
We tell
say-
him it's half.
I'll give him a quarter. I'll not
Mhm.
give him half.
So what this is, I'll see if I can just drag it into world.
So he
Yes.
gets basically, we'll round up 6 uses of it.
Okay. So purple worm poison is a DC 19 con save, and on a failed save, taking 12d6 poison damage. On a successful save, taking half as much.
Oh my
Damn.
god. So
Holy
many.
shit.
I roll so many d6s.
Having
Let's take attack with
22
that.
uses of that is absurd.
It is.
Yeah,
wild.
we will have 6. 22 minus 6 is going to be.
To be fair, it's less
16.
than half.
We get 16 uses of it. After giving a quarter of it to Gik.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Okay.
That's a tough what? 66 is what I roll now for my fucking sneak attack die.
Mm-hmm. So
my
that's that.
God.
So that was Zach, AJ, Zach, Dakota, Alice,
Oh.
AJ. Do you have anything?
So many fucking things. So many things running through my mind right now. Edgar does not like sitting around. He's not a fan of the very passive. He understands it completely, but it's not his style at all to be this incredibly passive. So he's running around just trying to figure out, so what can we be doing? You
Mhm.
know, besides just waiting to be attacked. Part of that would be asking, are we trying to like start building any relationships with other nations? Not saying trying to get them to join us, but to say, hey, we've taken these 2 things. If we win, will you side with us? Kind of things. So just going around to the more diplomatic people to find out, is anything going on there? Can I help with anything like
Yeah.
that?
So you'll find meet with the diplomatic corps of the alliance, and you'll find out that they are working on beginning negotiations with other nations, other peoples on the continent. People as a sort of like, if there's anyone interested in assistance, we would be open to negotiating those terms. But ultimately, it's a basically they're petitioning the other nations to recognize this rebellion as a legitimate action that's occurring within the empire. Uh, uh, the there is also some debate amongst the council as to what they should name this nation once it has been liberated from the empire itself. Because a lot of them are saying like, and this is like spread out amongst the ranks of the alliance as well. Like people are like, we can't just keep calling ourselves the monstrous alliance. That's like it was cool when we're like doing all this stuff, but like that's not a name for a nation. Like, what's our name? So that's something that's being discussed as well. Um, there's some ideas being floated around. There's like the Republic of Elmera. There's the Alliance of Heroes. The Friendship Lands. Like some
Who
people.
suggested that?
Who the
Who
fuck?
suggested
that
friendship
was
lands?
that was Phil.
Who
That
the
was
fuck?
Flip. That was
Phil.
Flip, dude. That
Phil.
was Flip.
It was Flip. It wasn't Philp. It was Flip.
There's a different grung named Flip who suggested the Friendship Lands, and Philip was like, "Come
Kill
on,
him.
come on."
Tell him there can only be one.
No, I'm talking.
Okay. After learning about that, I'll be like, all right. That's also still a little bit passive. Edgar is gonna go have a chat with Oberon
Okay.
and just be like, all right, I get it. I totally get what they're doing. I've got to do something. There's got to be something with this 20 days that can make a difference.
I've got a little personal project, but as you see, Oberon's got like his hammer and chisel, and he's like meticulously like carving like what looks to be a rune into like a large set of armor. And he's like, this, but I can do this in my free time mostly. We need to have a serious discussion with the group, though. What do we do? Do we sit here and wait for the Empire to come knocking on our doorstep? Do we want to be proactive? The army is going to be decreased due to splitting them up. But the Empire wouldn't just send the Holy Knight Commander with nothing else up their sleeve.
There's a couple things coming to mind. I think at some point we should go talk to Colic. They have access to magic no one else does, and I think they might be an advantage that, as far as we know, no one else knows that we have Colic on our side, right, Jack?
As far as you know, yes.
Yeah. We also know Colic can teleport us. So that could be a chance to be a place they would least expect us. Couple thoughts come to mind when I think about that, but they're all really dangerous, and if things go bad, we're not here for the fight. I don't know what happens. But I also want to check on Dad.
Same. I don't.
Partially to see if he's okay, but also to see if OG Claudius has done anything.
I don't know. The simulacrum alone is enough reason to.
If he's in the city while the armies are out here, it would be stupid.
Very suicidal, even.
But if we could get him off the board, if he's still looking for something, a replacement for Annie, maybe there's a way to not just have to fight him in the city.
You're thinking about trying to bait him out. There's only two things that I can think of right now that would entice him enough. One is Annie herself, which is no. Two, and Oberon just looks at the bag of holding by Edgar's waist.
What he wants, I don't know. Because he's got to know the Empress is weak. And if there's a chance for him to take over, this is it. But I don't know if that's what he wants. Does he just want to stay where he's at and just keep the Empire going?
Can I roll, Jack? I know that this is going to be like close to him. With everything that I've seen how my grandfather acts and done, can I give an insight check on his like overall like actions and everything to see like what does it look like he's trying to gain from all of this? Or I'll even let that be a history check.
I would count that as an insight check because you know him personally, so you'd be attempting to understand his motivations and stuff like that. I will say because you aren't working with him directly, you aren't asking him these questions, you aren't interrogating him. That will increase the DC by I'm going to say a 10.
Can I instead make that roll with disadvantage instead of the -10? Or have it be like a -5 with disadvantage?
Okay. -5 with disadvantage. We'll do that.
Okay.
Can I
Then
guidance Oberon if we're actively talking this through?
Sure.
Okay. So my ruin gives me advantage on insight checks. So that cancels out the disadvantage. So it's a flat roll plus a d4.
-5.
-5, yeah. So, oh boy. Alright. Trying to see if there's anything else that I have. No, because I can't just give myself advantage off the disadvantage cancel
Right.
out. So
Plus a d4 from guidance. -5.
17.
Brings it down to a 17. With a 17, you can't be confident in what his true motivations are.
Why couldn't that have been my fucking roll? Why couldn't that have been my fucking roll?
That was another roll just to see, and it was a 30.
No, it happens.
No, so unfortunately, with you,
Yeah.
you can't be certain in his true motivations. I will say he acts outwardly as someone who is very concerned with his own power, but as far as you know, has never done anything to jeopardize or challenge the authority of the Empress.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if he's trying to play a long game of just supporting the Empress till she's at her weakest moment, or if he truly is 100% behind her and just willing to play second fiddle. You see him like frantically, like just like looking, trying to like piece it together. Don't
I
have
think we're going to
good.
be able to. I don't think we're going to get an answer for that.
I don't think so.
But I have another idea, and think I'm gonna need the group, especially S's help for it, but eventually we're gonna have to fight Avon and Avon. It would be really helpful to have a spot already in the city that a strike force, vamps into.
You're thinking about Essa getting into the city.
I'm thinking about figuring out a spot, having a chat with Colic, and seeing if when that time comes, however many people she could send while the attack on Avon or whatever happens, we can get in there before anyone knows there's people inside.
We would be alone in the city.
Yeah. But if we time it with our attack on Avon,
Definitely something to consider, but something to talk about the group.
All right.
Edgar is going to use his time then to have some chats with Colic just to learn more about her abilities, what she's been providing. Learn what she can about um, any ideas that she has for supporting the group, anything that Edgar can do to help as well. And starting to discuss, all right, what do we do after Ongar's fight is done with her? Just to see what capabilities she has. And at some point with Oberon trying to scry on RC30.
Yeah. So what she's able to work on is what she's been doing a lot of is magically enhancing a lot of these supplies and materials that are being used by the general soldiers. Effectively, like, you know, you all do have access to better quality equipment because of your work in Narin, and also now with access to the forges in Ongar and things like that. Um, but she's working to additionally enhance them with her magic in ways that like will uh, bring up the quality of the arms and armor of your forces to make them able to be, if not exactly comparable to the quality of the Imperial army, then at least able to stand more of a chance against them. She's also been working to assist with the use of magical healing, things like that, and also uh, with the one thing that she has been working on that was a sort of unexpected benefit is that she has magic that allows for the rapid progression of growth within crops. That's been allowing you all to like stockpile more food and preserve it for longer. That's been something that's supply lines are the key to victory in long conflicts, and so that's something that's going to be very effectively amplified because of her assistance. As far as direct abilities to transport people into Avon, she says like, yeah, no, I can do that. The city itself doesn't really have magical wards that prevent teleportation into the city. The Imperial Palace does. That's something that she's researched herself and has come to the conclusion of. But the city itself does not. So she could easily transport a small group of people into the city while there's fighting going on outside or at the gates. But as far as getting you directly into the throne room, that's not something she can do. As far as scrying on RC30, she can attempt that, and as she does so,
I also know planning can help with that too, if need be.
right. But as she attempts to scry on him, she finds that her spell fails anytime she attempts to scry on RC30.
And I would ask for clarification. What does that mean from Colic?
Yes, from Colic's explanation, that's, well, nothing gets past my scrying unless it's designed specifically to counter scrying, which in this case seems to be a non-detection spell, which is what's happening. It is the most likely cause of the failure of her scrying. So wherever he is, he's not meant to. He's not. Whoever has him does not want him to be found or spied upon.
Mhm.
If you or T thinks to mention it, though, she would try to scry on T's biological parents.
I was gonna ask that and Chevra. I wanted to check on both.
Yeah, T would probably want a quick little temp check on that.
Yeah, so checking in on Chevra. Chevra's is still okay. Chevra herself is doing okay. Uh, uh, if you happen to be like checking over time, you'll see that like certainly there's like in some cases less business, in some cases more business within the actual place. That's partially due to like just how people are feeling about the coming conflict and things like that. But generally, it seems that Chevra is not being targeted. Whether that's because it's unknown her direct connection to T, how intimate her connection to T is, or just if she has her own protections or deals worked out that keeps her from being able to be targeted in that way, is unclear. Uh, from what you're able to scry, but you do see that she is okay. You do see that that the that T's parents are currently being held under house arrest by Lady Ward. They are still within the same house that they had been living in within the city, but they are unable to leave. Uh, it is effectively that what you're getting from the scrying is that it is just because of Eileen's station as a noble elf that keeps her from being put in a dungeon at this point, and because of her insistence that keeps Harrison from being put in a dungeon as well. But they are prisoners at this point.
Okay.
Do we see Cammy at all in the Chevra?
I wasn't gonna ask.
Oh,
If not,
hey.
Edgar was gonna see like, hey T, did you want to ask about Cammy? T,
T,
I
T,
mean,
did you want to ask about Cammy, your friend?
if
your friend
you
who was a
happen to have
girl.
the
Your
spell
friend who
slots
was a girl?
available, I mean, get all
Cammy,
blushy and weird.
Cammy's dead. So moving on.
I knew it.
No, Cammy is still working as a bouncer at Chevra's, and is doing okay. All right.
I would really quickly, once we talk about this a little more, bring the group together after some of those guys be like, hey, if we were to make like an assault base in Avon, I honestly think Chevra's might be the best bet.
I think Mama would like to see us.
We get there, we instantly just get meteor swarmed, killing everybody.
To bring up another suggestion, one that's more covert. I do know of a rebellion base that's in Avon.
Is it? How likely is it to still be occupied in the middle of a?
That's the problem. I have no idea if the people who were there are still there. People who were there were, some of them were the ones who came and helped us when we fought Redmayne, but they may have gone to help with the war effort.
And I wouldn't
But-
exactly want to blow up their spot.
True.
We
It's a
got some
suggestion if
time
you
if we
want.
want to try communicating with the rebellion just to find out
True.
what the status in the city is still.
If they've discovered the rebellion, it's not too far off that they probably discovered them via that base and have already taken it over.
It could
be compromised.
Yeah, I'd say that there's enough time during the downtime that you'd be able to correspond and get information out of this. What you would find out is that the rebellion base was made. It was detected within the city of Avon. But that the agents were able to escape with both of their lives and have since joined the Cashel war effort. occasionally, but the tiefling woman did actually stay behind to kind of just keep to the shadows and keep an eye on any imperial activity within the city. Though she, has had to be very mobile because the safe house is fully compromised at this point.
So yeah, there goes that plan. Showers might be our best bet.
There's already some non-detection shit going on there, and there doesn't seem to be heat on it.
That's what I was going to mention.
That's
Is that
true.
we were pretty safe there when we were able to talk about our stuff.
Only thing I worry about is Madame Chevra may have enough pull while there's nothing happening to maintain ambiguity, but the second we get there, that ambiguity is gone.
I think the only time we go there, though, is when all shit has hit the fan.
I agree.
Is there anyone from Avon that we want to talk to? I mean, people to see if they would, when shit hits the fan, come to our side.
Professor
Would we
Lacari.
ever warn the cards? I don't know
Cards are
how
The cards are going to be tough
in
because
bed
they
they
are
are with Ward.
The
They're
cards are
paid.
compromised.
They're paid by
They-
Ward.
They're paid by Ward. Not only that, Ward technically controls their position because she controls the noble that was put into place there.
Also, not to put it, I wouldn't put it past Ward to put some kind of insurance on if they ever tried to switch sides that they would be dead at the snap of her fingers. Or someone putting insurance on that. They are good assets.
She did put a tracking device in our friend.
That's true.
Who knows? Who knows what else she is capable?
So I wouldn't put it past her to put some insurance on the cards like that. As good as assets as they would be to have. What about Professor Lacari? Surely he
I
has
was
the people.
thinking. I was thinking that too.
He would more likely be able to join. From what I remember of the man, he didn't seem like he really gave a shit about the Empire too much. I'm sure he can probably rally a few, if at least one student behind him to join us, and Annie is better than nothing.
To try to. I don't know. I don't think he gave a shit about any of the politics, from what I remember. At least we didn't talk about it. We might have to try to convince him over a sending spell.
That's
But
good.
that was the first name that came to my mind. Besides Elder Loomis, but I think that's more just letting her know to be ready when we need to be ready. We need it. Why didn't any of us make more friends at the academy?
I
Well,
lived
shit,
in a
we're kind
hole
of
in the
weirdos.
ground.
That's what
I
made
li-
us friends.
I lived in a hole in the ground, pretty much.
I'm blue, da ba dee da ba da.
I got horse.
All of Oberon's friends are elves.
Yeah, all of
Yeah.
Oberon's friends are fucking terrible people now and are trying to kill him.
Throwback to that girl you talked to once.
Yeah, Oberon thought about it, but he's like, there's no way in hell she's going to help us.
No.
And he's not going to risk the entire operation by being like, hey, on this day, get out of there.
Right.
Yeah.
Just feel it out with the U up sending and see what happens.
Oberon will reach out. Not to anybody in the city, but he will reach out to Castor.
Yes. So Castor is with, for helping, still with Annie at the civilian camp of the Monstrous Alliance. After you all took the city of Ongar, that civilian camp would have begun moving towards the city as well. It's safer behind the city walls is the mentality.
Then he would wait for when Castor would arrive.
Yeah, so that'll happen during the downtime.
Okay.
I'll say about we'll say 10 days in.
Okay. Then Edgar, is there any more like downtime stuff you are wanting to do?
No, I think I'm good.
Main thing Oberon's wanting to get done is he's like what you saw him doing, Edgar, inscribing runes, and finally when he like gets them all inscribed, like one final of the hammer, like the entire array like lights up on the arm before fading, and he's just, all right, that may come in handy, and he's going to put Wound's new ruin arm to him.
All right.
So, and that's the stuff that we talked about, Jack.
Yes.
And like feel like that's going to take up a good portion of like his like div time, at least the first half of it. Second half, not really sure. He's talked with Edgar about a lot of it. He's going to suggest that the group gets together and talks like maybe like 5 days before the army is set to arrive.
Okay. At the point that the civilian camp does get merged into the city, you'll have your opportunity to speak with Castor and Annie.
Yeah. Upon seeing them, like this is the first time Oberon seen Annie since. What's Annie's reaction to seeing Oberon?
Initially, it's just very much relief, but then it's also like this kind of sense of like, there is a sort of distance between you two right now, and she all the kind of just tells you like, I'm really glad that you're alive and that you're safe, and thank you for, you know, getting me out of that situation. But also, she's just like, is there really no chance for me to get my magic back?
See, this is where Oberon doubles down. No. Oh, that would be ugly.
This is Dakota speaking, not Essa. We have a hag. If anyone can do it,
No.
it
No,
might be.
no, no. No, no, no. Just because you two fucked your lives up doesn't mean she has to.
I didn't fuck shit up. I gave away a sword. That's all I
No,
did.
Okay, you gave away a sword and sold your soul to eternal damnation when you
I didn't. Alice did. You took it away.
We learned Dakota was already fucked thanks to
Yeah.
his family.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah. You just actively made it more possible. Oberon like sees this and like almost instantly goes to the like story that he had told before, like remembering what's about to happen and everything. Just there is.
Does it have to wait until Grandpa's dead?
I would prefer it, but and he like slowly just gives an exhale. And I'm sorry. There was an option for you to keep your magic. I know that we told you about you had your two options before. I should you wish, I'm sure that you may be able to reach out and be able to find a way for the goddess to give you your magic.
She
Is it Elothan?
Elothan, yes.
Elothan. Lady Elothan would be more than willing to accept you and grant you your magic, but if that happened, you would have to remain with her.
Okay. I'll think about it. She says. But yeah, she ultimately though she is just relieved to see you and that you're alive and that you're safe and that she's safe and everything's going to be okay. But you do get this sort of sense from her that she still hasn't recovered from not having her magic anymore.
After that, he's going to just like talk with Caster, just to the side, just how have you two been holding up?
We've been surviving. The people here are. They know how to keep themselves alive. And it's taken some work, but they aren't upset at having Annie around them.
I can't imagine. We ran in, I'm sure you heard about grandfather's attack on the camp.
Yes, I heard that he used some advanced illusions to really deal some damage.
We're going to have to deal with it at some point. Sooner rather than me and Edgar have formed a theory that whatever grandfather is doing right now involves father. We haven't been able to get a message to him or scry. It's making me think that grandfather has him under a very tight lock and key right now.
Yeah, Caster just nods and says, "Your father told me that that's most likely what would have happened once we left the city."
We plan to try and infiltrate Ave. Not right now, but when we siege the city.
And he looks kind of just very stoic, just nods and says, "I see. If you would need another blade at your side, it is my duty to protect those of the family, Claudius. And that includes your father."
that we are forever grateful. Thank you, Caster. Thank you for taking care of me.
Yeah. And he'll smile and shake your hand as speaking to you as a man speaks to another man, not as a bodyguard speaks to his child ward.
As another dragonborn speaks to an elf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and Oberon just nods, grateful. So you said around 13 days till Finn's project is done?
Yeah. So a few days after. AJ, were you going to say something?
One thing that I forgot would have been done a little bit earlier. Edgar would have run to Tauros at some point and be like, Tauros, we should probably talk to some of the planning and other people about the whole Lakar Coccyx thing.
Yes, I'm not really sure how much we're going to actually be able to get done with it. It can't hurt to bring up.
And just in case shit hits the fan, I want to just come up with any kind of plan to try to summon a big bone tree monster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you will bring it up with Plandon. I'll let you know that he's aware of the legend. It's something that has been spread through a lot of different Asori circles, and that he is also currently investigating ways of whether that miracle can be reproduced, or if there may be a way to get Lakar's altered form to reanimate instead of remaining as its current state. That's going to be work that they're still investigating, but if you want to on your downtime, you could help assist in researching ways that might be able to do so. That would be an Arcana or a Religion check.
Hey, you good at any of those, Tauros?
I was like, why do I have a pretty shit religion? I was like, oh, intelligence. It's a +5. It's not terrible.
Better
It
than
ain't
me.
great.
Better than me. Guidance.
Mm-hmm.
Bing boom. Just a normal roll. That's a
20. And then you
20.
get your
and
guidance.
22.
All right, yeah. With the 22, you guys make some headway. And going over old texts, over different myths and legends around the Asori religion, and you make some decent progress in ways that this was effectively a divine intervention performed by a cleric. So it's something that's not easily accessible to people outside of that position. But it is something that you at least are oh, we know how this happened.
Okay.
So it's a thing of there are also pieces of legend and fragments that say that Lakar may be able to be reanimated once again. When Lakar is once again needed, but there's no it's hard to tell if that's just wishful prophesying or if it's an actual oh, this can happen kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Something else Taurus would do in his downtime with that is not anything specifically big, but he would ask he would ask Hildra kind of train with him. Knows maybe some sparring matches and to go over some basic Baphomalia chants and rituals. Small stuff that's not big, but he hasn't seen a lot, so he would ask her to help.
Yeah, she'll work with you on as far as actually using your paladin abilities with this specific oath, and then as well with any of like the rituals and like actual practices done as a member of the religious order of Balfamalia's church and everything like that. Okay, so a few days after the civilian camp joins Ongar is when Fen would be coming around with his completed project.
Yeah. So you get a message, Tauros. Oi, how are you lots holding up? Heard y'all won. That's the end of the message right there.
Heard that you. What was that last part?
One.
Oh, doing good. We were able to fight them back. We are now preparing for the fight ahead. How are you?
Good to hear. Tired of shit. Been working on something. It's finally done. Gonna swing by and drop it off to you. Jack, would it be possible to grab one of the higher ranking members of the church who would have the ability to like word of recall us back to the temple?
Yeah, that'd be feasible.
Okay. Then later that day, Finn is just gonna like pop back in. And you see what he's got is him and another member of the monastery. You see he's got a like giant like case on his back, like easily looks like it could be like maybe like 6 feet tall, like, and it looks heavy as you see him like I make this shit so heavy, and like he's like got it on his like shoulders, just sees the rest of you all. What?
Fuck is
Howdy,
that?
stranger.
You all look good for a lot that just got done with this siege.
Yeah, we handled it pretty well for once.
Oh, yes, I did. And so kind of some issues.
We won. We won.
Who was on the inside?
Doesn't matter.
standing
We
up,
won.
right?
Doesn't matter. On paper, two wins.
You're being really defensive, Edgar.
2 wins.
Two
Two
wins.
wins.
Two wins. 0 losses. Undefeated. Never lost. Ken's like, oh, yeah. Well, so been working since I've been gone from you all, and well, ever since with what happened at the encampment, the monastery has felt partially responsible for letting Carnalax's remains be used in such a way. So, and like he takes the case and like drops it on the ground. Decide to maybe put some resources to better use. And you see what he does is he takes it and he like just opens the side of it, and as he does, you just see a gorgeous set of what almost looks like bronze plate mail. As it's like ornate, very ornate looking, almost looks more like not functional but aesthetic. Although you can see like it clearly has like still like plating in very important vital areas, but you notice it's a lot wider than what normal plate mail would look like. Um, and it's got like spikes that go off the shoulder pads and like the elbow and knee joints. And you also see a giant symbol that you recognize to be the symbol of Eurydice, Finn's goddess, on the chest plate. Figured you lot are about to get into serious shit, so here's my gift.
Yeah, Trey, would you like to explain what this little item is?
Yeah, assuming everything that we talked about was good.
Mhm.
Guys, this is what was it, like a 27, 28, like Forge Tools check gets you.
Damn.
Let's see. Why is it not open? Yeah, I'll go right here then, because I literally had it pulled. Oh yeah. Okay, here we go. All right. So what you're seeing in front of you is Eurydice's Cosmos. This is a magical set of +2 plate mail. This plate mail is imbued with the protection of the chromatic mother. While attuned to this item, you understand Draconic and have advantage on saving throws against Charmed or Frightened. Additionally, this armor has two special features. Once per day, as a reaction, you may choose a number of creatures equal to your charisma modifier +1 to resist the next instance of damage that the creature would take. But upon doing this, you become vulnerable to the next damage that you will take. Additionally, this armor ignores requirements of strength and proficiency.
Yo, that's fucking huge.
I think we all look at Tauros.
Yeah. Everyone's head just turns to Tauros.
What does
turn
Tauros
to
look like right
tea.
now?
I turn to tea.
It ignores proficiency.
I turn
And
to tea.
literally anyone can
Tea
wear
You
it.
don't
technically
have
wear
to
it.
be able to wear heavy
Big
armor to wear it.
Tea technically could wear it.
But tea still wouldn't get
could.
spells.
Yeah.
I
I
it's 'cause
would
you're
not take that away from
Yeah.
Zach.
Hold up.
If you get a counter where the proficiency is the reason.
Well, I think it's because you're wearing armor you're not proficient with, but if this ignores
Mm.
proficiency, then you wouldn't. That
Then
wouldn't.
yeah, you'd still be able to cast a
You'd
spell.
still be able to cast spells.
Yeah.
So basically,
Yeah.
by wearing armor, that you basically be like for the purpose of this book, you'd be considered proficient with it if it ignores it, because you wouldn't get any of the negatives that not being proficient. I guess we could yeah. I think it's DM's ruling.
Yeah.
Yeah, he like sees this and he like taps the armor. We made it to where whoever attunes to it, it'll shrink or grow to fit their size.
Well, wonderful.
It's a beautiful set of armor.
Would hope so. This literally has my blood, sweat, and tears in it.
Why is your blood in it?
Metal's sharp.
A
do you
lot
think
of blood.
How do you think it got so shiny?
Did you clean it out? You just left it in
A
there?
magical component.
Don't worry, it's magic.
But this is coming from the
Insight check.
fucking the blood hunter.
Okay,
The man shoots blood at people's eyes.
Yeah.
What does he care?
go ahead, insight check me.
It's his blood. It's not other people's blood. He knows his blood very well.
That's a 6.
He doesn't know. He knows
God.
what's in his blood.
All right, it's a roll.
I don't know if he
of
does.
What is in
I'm on
me?
over. I was looking at this and I'm like, Finn doesn't have that high of a charisma, and I'm like, oh, I'm on Oberon sheet.
Yeah, I just looked up the casting and armor thing. It says you must be proficient with the armor you are wearing to cast a spell. I'll say that because it's ignoring proficiencies, you're able to cast magic while wearing it. T.
I would assume. I don't know if it's barbarians, but I would assume the rule applies since it's heavy armor. Barbarians won't be able to rage in it.
Well,
Yes.
see, barbarians say you can't rage in heavy armor. It doesn't
right.
say proficiency matters. It says in heavy armor, and
That's
this
what I'm
counts
saying.
as heavy armor.
If
That's what I'm saying.
so,
They
like-
wouldn't be able to use it.
So, like, if you took the light armor, then medium armor, then heavy armor feats as a wizard, you could
Mhm.
become a wizard that wears heavy armor.
Or you could just do the easy thing and take like
And
a level in cleric or a
fighter.
level in fighter.
Okay,
Art-
but you
artificer.
could also do it my way and waste 3 ASIs.
I like that one.
We tied.
We tied. Rollies. Rollies. Just a D20, AJ.
13.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, by
Was it
What was
being
that?
lazy?
What was
Sven
that
just
for?
being lazy, leaving the
I
blood is
guidance.
the
I
question.
guidance myself to give.
Too late. You
Fuck
didn't say it.
you.
Nope. You
Fuck
didn't do it. You didn't
Fuck
say it. Nope. Doesn't
AJ,
count.
no,
Doesn't count.
AJ, if you let him guidance, you can guidance. You still might beat him.
No, he rolled a 4, Dakota. I'm not risking that. I'm gonna play this card.
the
Play the
DM's gonna have to roll with AJ on this one.
Yeah.
Because it's
I'm
funnier.
just trying to find out if Ben
It's
was lazy and just
funnier.
didn't want to take the blood out and thought it would be cool
No,
to say.
you
All
get the
this
sense
in.
that it was a lot of magical components, and then some blood did get in there. But then, because of the color of the armor, Finn can't quite tell where the blood went. So he was just like, "I'm not going to spend like hours disassembling this magic
know what?
armor and then reassembling it."
For some reason, this gives Edgar more respect for Ben. at this point.
But yeah, anyone who so chooses can use Eurydice's Cosmos.
Damn.
I look at Taurus.
Yeah, I think it's
Fucking
gonna
take
be
Yeah.
the armor.
big, heavy man.
I'm gonna roll.
What would that
wisdom
increase your
save,
armor
too?
class to?
I'm
That's a static 20.
Yeah, it's a +2 plate mail, so
That's
Is it-
static 20 plus whatever bonuses you would get.
Nelly. Just roll
Because
like a-
yeah, Tor doesn't use a shield, so I think it would say 20.
I'm letting you know if Finn wore this, his static AC would be 26.
Do you
That's
add your?
awesome.
You don't add your Dex
Yeah.
mod to heavy armor, do you?
no.
No,
What
it's
would Edgar's be if
Just
Edgar?
I'm
wore
gonna
it?
add it right now just to see. Add plate +2.
Mine would just be 20.
It would only be like 20,
Mine would be
21.
21 because of the dual wielder,
while you're dual wielding.
Mhm.
Yeah. which is what I'm always doing in combat. Is pretty much unless I pull out my bow. I was
Yeah,
going to
it
rapiers.
raised me up to a 24.
Jesus.
Oh yeah,
God.
What would Oberon's be? I'm actually kind of curious because I
With
know his
this,
is not.
it would just be
his-
21. Oh
'Cause-
yeah, 21.
What's yours currently? If you don't mind me
19.
asking. Okay, so that's not the greatest difference.
So,
But-
is Tauros rolling a wisdom save to see if he picks it?
I just want to see how well he hides. He won't.
Okay.
If
That
he
would
can
be a
like
deception
compose
check.
himself. You can see if he can compose himself for the. He wants that. He wants that.
I was about to say,
That armor.
I double your score.
He wants that fucking armor, dude.
Finn sees you just like salivating.
Yes.
He just like figured it was between you and T. So come on, big man.
Oh, he looks. He's like, okay, yeah, yeah. Let's get this on.
All right.
Why are you putting on an act in front? It's us, Taurus.
In that one moment, you sounded so much like Kronk. It was so funny.
Hey,
The armor, Finn's
The armor.
armor. The armor Finn made. Finn's armor that Finn made to help
Mhm.
Tauros. Yes, that armor.
the armor.
I got it.
But yeah, so you put it on and you feel that magical energy surging on through.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
It was.
I'll
You
send
can
you the
understand
stat block.
draconic. Yep. Okay. Cool. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll send you the item block.
Got it.
All
You
right.
heading back?
Yeah, I monastery still needs me, but from what I understand, shit's really about to hit the fan. If you need an extra set of bracers, swing by or let me know.
We'll keep in touch.
Please do. Taurus, you still have the Essa still has the plus. Who has the +1 from Finn? Is it Taurus?
I still have it written down in my. That
It's
I had it,
Taurus.
so-
I don't have it.
All right. So Tauros's AC instead of being 20 is going to be 21. With that plus
22.
Hell yeah.
22?
The +1 because you have defense fighting, don't you?
No, he has great
Or do
weapon.
you have
No, great weapon.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, it's gonna be 20.
21 AC.
You're
gonna
thinking
be
of
21.
Ren. Ren is
Yeah.
super fucking tanky.
That's right. Yeah, you're 21 AC.
All right.
It was you just had normal plate mail, right, Taurus?
Yes.
I thought you had
No,
a
I
plate
plus
mail +1.
I
You had
had
a
I had
+1.
plate mail +1 because my thing was originally 20
Hey, can
stat.
Oberon borrow that plate mail +1 now?
You can have it. It's all yours.
No. Well,
All right.
then yeah, Finn's gonna just mention that and just all right. Wishing you the best of luck.
All right. So I think things will move on along until I believe Oberon wanted to speak with everyone 5 days
Yeah.
before the estimated arrival.
Yeah, about
of
like
the
5
army.
days before the army arrives.
Okay.
Oberon's gonna just get everybody together. Just he is going to ask that everybody attune to their anti-detection magic item before this talk.
All right. You are all non-detectable.
Okay. As we like get together, just so I think that we all should begin to think about what our next. And I'm not just talking about what the Empire sees going on. What do we want to do next?
That's loaded. That's assuming a lot.
That's assuming we win,
It is.
and we will.
I don't know. I don't know what I want to do.
Do you want to save your parents?
Of course.
Aben is the end goal. I think we all agree on that.
Correct.
We can't be with the main army laying siege. If we do that, there's too great of a risk of us not making it into the actual city. Whatever shit's going on, we're the most important pieces on this chessboard. As long as we have that, and he points to the bag of holding, we're priority number one.
I like the idea of being the inside strike team. But I don't think we should have that, pointing again to the bag of holding, on us. but I don't know if there's anyone we trust to hold it.
Not that much power. Only
Exactly.
When shit hits the fan in Haven, I think we're gonna need to have both. If we get the other piece, we need to do whatever we gotta do immediately. So I don't know if we have a choice but to hold on to it. Unless we had a way to recall it from somewhere that was safe. That might be a
Maybe,
call it question.
I say maybe we can have Colic hold on to it and then bamf it to us when we got the others half.
She's cool. She's
I
really
know.
Yeah, I
powerful.
don't really
Mhm.
want to
Yeah.
hold it. That was a suggestion
So
that
what
even
if
I didn't like.
hypothetically she has the piece? She bamps in with the other piece, grabs the other piece. We deal with another immortal empress.
Exactly the fear.
I understand that some of us have put a lot, as he looks at T, a lot of faith.
I can feel you talking at me.
I'm.
Tauros, I
I
think
was.
he's talking to you.
Me?
You gave the egg
Me?
up, Tauros.
Me? I can't hear you over my new armor.
Like, it's like the giant like bastion armor. Like you can't see his.
Maybe.
No. We need to have this on us at all times.
My thing is, there are two thorns in the city besides the Empress. And I don't trust other people to deal with either our great great grandpa or Ward. But I don't know how we do that unless we plan some tactical attacks on them before the siege or we split up. And I don't know how any of that will look.
What if we start the siege by taking down your grandfather or Ward?
That would be that's very risky
Yeah.
because we would start while there's not mass pandemonium, while the Claudius household would still have most of their guards still there. Grandfather would still be in his workshop. Ward would most likely still be in her base of operations. The guards still around her. We need
And you
as
think
much as
mid-siege they'll go away from their hidey holes?
no, but I think that there will be enough chaos thrown about that we would have at least a sliver more of a chance of at least getting the drop on them. I'm not saying we have to that they would be undefended, but the difference between fighting an entire castle versus fighting a set troop would be the difference that wins the battle of attrition.
True.
But then it'll be a matter of figuring out how do we do 3 massive fights in a row. Of dealing with one of the most powerful wizards in history. Whatever the fuck Ward plus the cards has in store for us, because she's going to be ready. And then, same day, don't think we're getting 8 hours of rest.
The
Go fight the
demigod.
Empress. Yeah. So there's got to be some tactical way to go through this if we can't deal with one of them before
Is
the
there
day
a way
of siege.
we can maybe shut down their resources? At least stall it on the day of the assault.
That would require an inside job. I'm not saying we have to come to a consensus conclusion right now. And I understand
That's
that
good to start thinking about.
the battle ahead is very pressing, but it's not the most important thing that we've got to.
All right. So it sounds like won't be able to necessarily nail down an exact plan at this point, but it is something you're all starting to have to start working on. Does that sound about
Mhm.
right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. With that discussion having been had, we'll advance out to the arrival of the Imperial Army. Uh, so the first signs of the army are spotted towards midday as you all like go up to the city walls and you see a whole just horde of well armored soldiers. Uh, as further back, closer to several yards back, you see tents being erected, and already you see these odd-looking things being built. It's several crates are being opened as pieces are fitted together into these rudimentary or into these shapes of things that uh, uh, have like a square base with uh, a large uh, metallic tube sitting on top of them, and glowing as one is being finished put together. You see glowing runes suddenly come to life along the metallic tube uh, as this large item is being created. Uh, and then suddenly you see on a woman wearing resplendent golden armor, uh, uh, and she has this very striking, beautiful face, long blonde hair. Uh, as she speaks to uh, a wizard-looking elf next to her, as she suddenly begins to lift off of the ground, and then speaks in a voice that booms loud enough that you know that everyone in the city can hear her. As she announces, "This is the Holy Knight Commander of the Empire of Macha. My forces, the forces of the Imperial Army, now prepare for a battle against the city of Ongar. City that seems to have fallen to the corrupting influences of monstrous invasion. Know this. Tomorrow, this city will be invaded. All people found within the city will be known to be traitors to the Empire's cause and allowing themselves to be ruled over by this heretical faction that claims to be the true liberators of our land. All who leave the city before then are welcome to do so, as they would be showing themselves as true citizens of the Empire. Any who are remaining within the walls at the time of our invasion shall be treated as enemies against the Empire. The only thing that would keep the invasion from occurring would be if these monsters ejected themselves from this city and surrendered so that they can be executed for their high crimes against the imperial majesty. Do with this information what you will, regardless of your decision. Tomorrow, justice will arrive to Ongar. And she is going to make an intimidation check to try to get the entire city against all of you.
God, what would Silvery Barbs do in this situation?
She is way out of range of silvery
I
barbs.
cast silence.
Little did you know I took a level in sorcerer. Silvery bar. Fuck.
Distance spell.
Okay. So that was a 25 on her
Fuck.
intimidation roll. There is significant unrest within the city. At this point, there will be people fleeing the city throughout the day, dropping the population that remained from the 70% down to about 50% of the city's population. Those that do remain are starting to pick fights with the monsters that exist within the city, basically telling them to leave before they get everyone killed. Thanks to your and Malika's work, T, you do manage to prevent an outright riot from occurring as a result of this threat, but ultimately, things will have to be decided in the battle tomorrow. I think we'll have to see that on the next episode of Dice Age.
Oh, fucking shit, man.